Hey everybody, welcome back to La-Mulana 2, the actual La-Mulana 2.
Yggdrasil.
So, fun note, I don't know if this was intended or not by the developers, but in the very first game, in the first introduction segment, they actually show a spot on a map called Yggdrasil. So I don't know if this was planned or not, but here we are. Now here's something I very much appreciate. There is a bestiary in this game with trivia about every monster. So I don't have to do all those crazy lore videos. You could do it on your own. Play the video game. And much like the first game, you get your first health boost relatively quickly, but after the first boss, so... This is all he ever says. This character is here just to introduce the fact that there are important NPCs with their own portraits.
The art's super good on the portraits. I really like them.
It's an interesting thing that they give the full body portraits, but also the sprites.
Oh, the sprites are so good too.
Yeah, they do a lot of good detail in the sprites. I've never not once been, like, kinda unimpressed by them.
And little incidental animations and everything too. It's so good.
Yeah, I also gotta mention, I was a little bad about the recordings, but if you noticed in my inventory, there were 4 outfits in this game, or in my inventory. You get those as either Kickstarter rewards or as doing certain achievements in the game, and once you unlock them, they're on every subsequent playthrough. So I'll try to show where do you get the outfits as I go, but we have them. And here's the point I'm trying to make after what you said, Skippy. Each of those outfits have their own unique animations for idle animations and boss kills.
No way.
I don't think I need that. I'll take it anyways. Sure. I don't want you to kill me.
Right, she's got one of the scary faces.
Yep. But, for the first 4 bosses, I just space out and forget, but I am going to try and show off every, boss kill animation for each outfit.
Nice.
Even though I really don't like a lot of the outfits.
That's the second flavor of getting La-Mulana.
So, I firmly believe that in some capacity, Takumi Naramura, the developer of this game, was like, he has to do some kind of, like, tabletop game. I don't know if he does, like, any of the Japanese stuff, or D&D, or Vampire the Masquerades or something, but he's gotta do something there, because there are a lot of dick moves that scream Dungeon Master. There are very much traps in this game that are rocks fall, fucking die.
I guess Dungeon Masters can smell their own, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that balancing animation is so sweet.
Yeah, that's another interesting mechanic in this game. There are balance beams that you have to watch out for, because if you attack or jump off them, you're not getting back on.
Oh, I see. But other than that, there's no, like, fiddly stuff you gotta do.
No, you just gotta walk on them. In fact, if you get a certain upgrade, you could run across them.
Ho ho!
Speaking of rocks fall.
That's death, right?
That is death, but that is also a puzzle you have to solve. Death is interesting in this game because when I was blind for my first playthrough and doing it on hard mode, death in this game is frequent. It comes cheap, comes fast, but it's never a time gap. Like, you never feel like you lost a billion hours of time. In fact, a lot of deaths are funny as fuck in this game. Like, I never felt like it was a cheap death or that's lame. I'll just have an instance where I die and I just keep laughing.
Just like that guy.
Yep. Why didn't he just take off his shirt? Has he never done laundry before?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he ended up dying trying to clean a curry stain, but why not just leave the curry stain?
Yeah, like, you're not gonna impress
Who are you trying
anyone.
to impress? Right?
Oh.
Well, as a matter of fact.
I mean, you're not a ninja, but guess who's a dang ninja right here? This
Ding dang ninja.
This gal with probably one of my favorite designs. Like, there was, back in 2012, they released a initial design of her, and she seemed, like, it kept a lot of the same elements, but she seemed rather doughy-eyed, kind of innocent, and very harmless looking. And, I don't know if there was, like, fan reception for that or what, but her design changed in a lot of subtle ways that, made her seem a lot more confident, self-capable, and also kind of bloodthirsty.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the promo animation art that the developer released of her in, I want to say 2014, shows her with like the classic anime snake eyes, that kind of like cold look, and there's a lot of like motifs of her being really angry at her dad.
Angry enough to go to La-Mulana, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I do like this new characterization of her, because the original design had no personality. But now you take a good look at her on the cover and you can tell she's done this shit before. She knows what she's doing. And she's a good character. I like her a lot. I just don't know about the name, that's all.
I mean, La Mesa isn't that much more sensical, right?
It is not. And that's also a name I'm kind of like, about.
La Misa Kosugi.
So, how up and up are you on your Norse mythology?
Not up and up and... Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Loki's wife.
Mm-hmm. So, this is kind of the weirdest fucking thing ever. They're like one-to-one accurate for every name of every Norse mythos in this game, except Loki. They never call him Loki, they just call him the Trickster.
Right.
I don't know why they do that.
Because nobody is allowed to talk about him.
What is he, like Voldemort? You don't speak his name out loud? What is this?
Exactly, he's a piece of shit. They just chained him up under a snake.
Huh.
Nobody talks about him anymore. He's a piece of crap.
Norse mythology is one of those weird things that I know a lot of general things about, but I don't know the specifics.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of good stories about Loki just being a shitlord.
Mm-hmm. We all know Loki's, oh, that reminds me, behold one of the, bigger puzzles of the game. Kids at home, you should probably write this down, or be smart like me and take a screen cap before recording the LP.
5 mantras. That was something from La-Mulana 1, right?
Yep.
Mantras.
Mantras are the, late game puzzle of the original game, and, they make a comeback here, not in as grand a manner. In fact, you get them way earlier than you would in the first game. Power is another one of those things they bring up a lot. Power is basically indicative of, hey, there's something here, there's equipment here, get stuff.
Power-ups, baby!
Yeah, huh? Is this straight up saying, yo, there's a power up here, please solve the puzzle?
Solve the puzzle if you don't want to be a piece of crap chained up underneath a snake with poison dripping into your eyes forever.
I like to imagine that Loki is one of those people that plays the video game, and then when he can't do, like, a puzzle, he gets mad, throws the controller, and flips it off. And that's why he's jailed up for unforgivable crimes to game controllers.
I suddenly feel extremely seen.
So if you may have noticed that horrible video transition there, because I don't like Sony Vegas at all.
Eh.
Here's our first actual boss.
Hey, Ratatoshka. Look at that little squiggle. How's it going?
I am tempted to say that this version of Ratatosk will be one of the hardest bosses you fight in the game, period.
Really?
Because you, an interesting thing, in the original game, you could go to 5 different areas and not even beat the first boss. This game wants you to do the first area in its entirety before it lets you off the chain. To wit,
I see.
I can't get the axe early on and just chump everything. I gotta fight Ratatosk here in my 64 HP lame whip state when he does 15 damage on contact.
Oh yeah. You're doing pretty good.
That's because this is like my 5th refight. I'm not kidding when
Well,
you say he's the hardest boss. He's very unpredictable.
Oh, you didn't even get to kill him.
Nope. Ratatosk is interesting here because I believe there's a tablet in this game. I'm not too up to snuff on where exactly everything is, but there is a tablet that says Ratatosk is mainly a farce, and you will keep fighting him. But we still gotta continue our tour of the roots of Yggdrasil, which I don't know about you, but I'm not really getting a roots vibe in this place.
No. I like that symbol.
In the back there?
Yeah, in the back of those. I guess that must be the roots. Pointing upwards?
I never thought to scan those.
Yeah, look. Yeah, look in the background of these text boxes.
Oh
right?
yeah. If you mean that, then yeah, that is the iconography of the roots of Yggdrasil.
I wonder if Yggdrasil is supposed to be upside down.
Secrets.
Oh, secret.
There are a lot of hidden entries in this game, and if you want to 100% it, I hope you enjoy hitting a lot of walls.
Oh yeah, get those wall turkeys.
So here's a fun fact about this game. Almost every shopkeeper within the ruins is an homage to another game. People have gotten them relatively easy for most of them, but I haven't heard anything about Korobok.
Korobok, huh?
He has eyes that look like they're gonna murder. Odds are someone in the comments or in the thread on SA will be like, he's a reference to this game. And I'll say, thank you, I didn't know that. But there are...
How did you not know?
What's up?
How did you not know?
I will say though, I know a lot of the other references, and some of them are a pull. Like, you just sit there and go like, what?
Really?
Yeah, there are some obvious ones, there are some not so obvious ones, but a lot of them are straight up. I want to say cameos of other games. Some of them are probably like, it's the friend of Naramura, and they just put him in the game. Others are signs of he really liked this game and wanted an homage in there.
Ah, great. I can't wait to buy weights from Shovel Knight.
I like Shovel Knight a lot. Thank God he's not in this game.
Guy's everywhere.
I know, right? Like, he's in 3 fighting games now. What is this?
I don't know. Oh, Lamp of Time.
Yep, it's back. It's just as good. But yeah, Shovel Knight is in a lot of fighting games recently, and one of the ones that really weirded me out was one called Blade Strangers, because he's fucking huge in that one.
Really?
He's like 3 times taller than he's depicted in game. And it's especially weird when he's fighting people like Quote and some weird new anime character.
Oh, good old Shovel Knight.
Though I do gotta say, Quote in Blade Strangers looks pretty baller. Here's a tutorial that you don't see again until a little bit later, and it kind of confuses me.
What, the only being able to shoot metal through those lights?
Yeah, like, there's a tutorial there, and then there's another one later that comes up, and you're just like, huh, weren't we taught this?
Hold on. Always have enough weights, kids.
Pro tip, in, I believe, episode 3, I don't, and it gets pretty embarrassing.
Oh, thank goodness for editing.
Memories of this rock. If you played the first demo that they offered when they started the Kickstarter, you remember this.
Yeah.
I think you could tell what happens here. So, it's really interesting that this game came out like, what, 1 or 2 months after the hype for God of War came out? Because I was watching an LP of that, and Mimir's pretty dope.
Oh, Mimir's such a good such a good buddy in that game.
Yeah. I think at this point I was like, wait, who's this? Now here's the funny thing, for those of you that are on board about the whole Norse mythology, there's a weird thing about Odin in this game in that there's no actual Odin entity. Instead, the organization of people that would like work underneath Odin formed the organization Odin.
Interesting.
It's very strange, but for the context of this game, it makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now, if you're looking in the background there, that's that is this game's gating mechanism. It's a soul door. You have to kill a certain amount of bosses based on what's depicted on the door to open it. That is why I have to beat the first boss in this video.
Oh, I see.
If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. I would do the same thing I did in the first LP and then beat like 5 different bosses before I even consider fighting the first boss. But here we are, having to do the entire level. Like, I don't know how
Yes.
Sorry?
Oh, just gotta gut it out, man. Fight that boss.
It's funny because before I like did the actual recordings of this, I was trying to route out some new routes, but it turns out you really do have to beat all of this. I think it's mainly because there are certain events that happen on the boss fight that trigger the rest of the game. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about what they did here, because personally, I like the original system of the game. I liked being able to just like do absolutely everything else before fighting any other boss. But I kind of understand why they did that here, because new players need to know the isms of the series. But,
Sure.
And from a story context, it does make a bit of sense. I don't think you're intended to do this.
No, it seems a little sketchy.
That's kind of an interesting thing, because one of the main reasons this game was delayed is because about halfway through development, they were looking at new engines to do, and they decided, you know, we have this perfectly good engine for La-Mulana. When it works, it does everything we need, but you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna learn Unity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if this game looks great and all, like there's a lot of good sprite work, there's a lot of 3D effects, and it may seem a little bit choppy if you play yourself. That's because this game is running in a Unity engine.
No kidding.
They spent 2 years learning it. It turned out well. It's all right. They fixed a lot of the glitches and shit that came with the initial release. But today, this day, I still wonder, why not just use the original engine?
I suppose.
I'd imagine they couldn't get away with a lot of the graphical presentation of this game by using their original engine, but it still struck me as odd.
Oh, I guess that's the benefit to like doing your own thing.
So here's a mini boss that we're not intended to beat right now, but I'm gonna, because you can get a lot of good shit here, and it's also one of the few mini bosses that I don't know how to beat in Melee.
Ah,
So the gimmick of this boss is that he's very powerful. In fact, there are tablets that say "Come back here when you're stronger."
Sure.
Anytime you try to get up in him in Melee, he runs away. And if that big old sickle thing hits you, that's 32 damage.
holy Hannah.
Everything else, I believe, is like 15 on Melee. So, you can still beat him out the gate. You just have to throw 70 shurikens at him. This is
70.
70. There's a reason why I fast-forwarded this.
Sure. Do you know offhand how long this fight took not sped up?
5 minutes.
It's pretty good for a boss fight.
You're not intended to do this boss fight, but I do want to do this boss fight. Now, we don't need to do this in retrospect, but it does show something interesting. Those two look familiar. So, for those of you that have probably played the first game, yeah, they're back. They're also exploring the ruins. Every single time you see them and try to chase them, there is a trap just waiting for you.
Oh.
every single time. There is... Sometimes this rain just... Oh, it's here. Remember how I said that I would not have enough weights for anything?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Egg on my face.
Come on, base. Give us something.
Well, we could buy some, but yeah. Time to walk back. And now through the magic of video editing.
Just a quick run to the store.
Yep. Now, if you notice that one patch of area that doesn't have ice, that is a fake floor that dips you right into one of my favorite hazards in this game. It's so profoundly dumb. You get dipped into poison lava.
That's a little excessive.
Remember how I said that it really feels like Naramura did like some kind of tabletop game? Poison lava to me is a trap that is so ridiculous on the level of super tetanus.
Oh my god, like that's the kind of thing where like you find a fountain and it's actually full of gelatinous cube.
I may have done that.
I'm sure everyone's done that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the grapple claw, that's cool. It's very, very ninja style.
Yeah, we actually don't need it. Like, I was running through this game and like, yeah, you could do it and it helps in some ways, but you don't need it. So I'm kind of wondering why I did that.
'Cause you can, I guess.
Still got that reflex.
Oh yeah. That was pretty good actually.
Now the funny thing is, you actually can explore all of Icefire Treetop and get to various places, but they're still locked off. Which kind of stinks.
So you whip the three goddesses in the face, and oh, look at this poor guy.
Dirty man,
dirty.
shackled in chains. God, I just imagine all the historians that specialize in Norse mythology are just fucking going crazy.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Oh, I think I'm ready. Don't worry, Zelpin. I kinda have to do this. And, with this little bit, let's kick off Ragnarok.
Oh, good.
So maybe it's just me, but I feel like Fafnir's kind of a pull? I think Nidhogg would have been better for this.
I think probably. Like, as I recall, Fafnir was actually just a super greedy dwarf who ended up being so greedy he turned into a dragon.
That is exactly it, but they never make mention of Fafnir in the ruins. It's always a reference to Nidhogg and the Trickster. Fafnir's just kind of a weird spider dragon pull here.
He's like, hey, surprise, it's Fafnir, everybody.
I feel like if you swapped Fafnir and Nidhogg just by names, this would make more sense, but hey. Oh well.
I guess it would, right? Because Nidhogg, you know, he chews on the roots of Yggdrasil, so him being some kind of like weird bug, that makes sense.
And being the boss of the roots of Yggdrasil would also make super sense.
Yeah, it would actually make a ton of sense. What the hell? Did they like just get the names backwards? They must have.
They probably did. But the boss fight itself is not hard. You whenever he attacks, you just wait a little bit, and 2 hits makes him recoil and go back again. His attacks actually do way less damage than both Ratatosk and Nidhogg.
Yeah, I mean, Ratatosk here has not a whole lot of health, it seems. And Nidhogg, you're not supposed to fight right now.
Yeah, but I did it.
Oh, of course you did it. You had 70 shurikens, didn't you?
Also, that's probably one of the coolest boss kill animations.
Oh, goes all anime.
It's very Zendatsu.
Hey! Hooray! Yep, you totally obliterated Fafnir. Good job.
What a weenie.
That'll learn you.
And in a callback from the first game, I see we found terrible movies here.
Ah, wonderful.
So that's it for the Roots of Yggdrasil. The game's still a little bit linear, but not much. Because from here on out, you're intended to go to the next dungeon, and then from there, once you get a very specific item in there, you can go to a lot of places afterwards. Like, I believe the time in between me doing this now and the next boss fight I do is about 5 episodes. And
Really?
And each one is its own unique dungeon. So we do a lot of things and find a lot of fun stuff, and I hope you'll enjoy the ride next time as we go to the Divine Fortress.
Get ready for a lot of Fafnir about.
Good night, everybody.